Welcome everybody to the F1 Push Lap. I'm Jermaine, everything Formula One. It's race week, Japan. What can I say? It's one of my favorite circuits to watch a Formula One car go around. Yuki's first race at home in a WhiteBull that they dropped the delivery launch a couple days ago, or maybe yesterday. Haas dropped theirs. We've seen some special helmets we're going to take a look at. Super excited for this week. Big week for Red Bull. Big week for McLaren. Looks like Ferrari might be bringing some stuff to Suzuka. Mercedes always clamoring on like Mercedes does. But let's just get into it. Yuki's first race at home. I'm excited and nervous for Yuki. What is this going to bring? We're going to take a close look at FP1 just to see where he gets out the gate. Nobody's expecting Yuki to be there with Max. I'm certainly not expecting Yuki to be there with Max. But I am curious to see how he gets on with this RB21. And I'm really curious to see how Lawson gets on in the Racing Bull. So this is going to be an interesting weekend at Suzuka. Here's the thing. Yuki says he'd love to get points, which is probably a good aim, but let's see what FP1 holds for him because we actually don't know what this car is going to be like coming to Suzuka. Last year, the last couple of years, it's been a dominant track for Red Bull. So I'm not really concerned about Max. I think Max is going to be there. But yeah, I'm dying to see what Yuki can bring to the table to help Max. As we see some launches over the last couple of days, the Haas looks awesome. I will say red and pink typically don't go together. I've heard some clamoring on Twitter or X or whatever y'all want to call it nowadays. And I've heard some people talking about red and pink don't go together. Yeah. It looks pretty good to me. And you're right, it doesn't, but I think they did well with adding as much white as they did, keeping the white and tying in the red and the pink. I think the Haas looks pretty good. But the launch that everybody's been waiting for, the WhiteBull, it has arrived. They've been doing some epic media, like social media posts, like Ferrari-esque, right? Like they've been like on this hype train. So it is spectacular. It is better than I thought it would be. It's better than Turkey. It's better than the Racing Bull. It is a spectacular livery, in my opinion. I think hopefully it looks good on track. I think it will. I also think that, hey, if you're gonna go out to your last one with Honda, yeah, make it spectacular. And this is definitely a spectacular livery. And I can't get enough of this livery. When you look at all the accents on this livery, you think, yeah, I think they did a good job there. Red Bull probably knocked this one out the park, to be honest with you, because I haven't seen a Red Bull livery look this good. I don't think ever. I think this is their best looking livery ever. Because their regular livery is absolute trash. And it's probably not trash. It's just I've seen it for so long that I'm sorry. You guys got to do something. Lighten the blue, darken the blue. I don't know. Do something. Brighten the red. I don't know. Something. Max's helmet. Epic. I've always been a fan of Max's designs. Max Lewis. I really like Sainz's last Ferrari helmet. Lando, it's hit or miss with Lando with me, but this looks epic. So we'll see what it looks like in the WhiteBull. I do believe their suits are also white, which, you know, for Yuki's first home race, yeah, with the team, which is the team's last home race, yeah, I think they went all out with that for this Japanese Grand Prix. Now, is it going to make the car go fast? Probably not. The car is in a world of hurt. The car still needs a lot of help. They've brought on, Yuki's been in the simulator a couple of times apparently, and Marco says that it's gone very well as we look at Yuki's helmet. Yuki's, now I like Yuki's helmet. I like what they've done with Yuki's helmet, especially his visor. I think I like what they tied in with the colors, the red and the yellow into the visor, and how this sits. I think it looks spectacular. But like I said, is it going to make the car fast? So I'm really curious about what your comments are. Who do you think, where do you think Red Bull is going to stack up this weekend? Do you think Yuki's going to make points? Do you think Max is going to be on the podium? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm super excited. I don't know what to tell you. I think Max will be there or thereabouts by the podium, if not on the podium. Yuki, I'm just going to cross my fingers that Yuki has a clean weekend. And I'm going to say that Yuki's going to have a better weekend than Lawson did in the previous 2 weekends, and that's what I'll say. Furthermore, much more than that, I'm not willing to go any further than that, because that car is a diva and a monster altogether. So, yeah, just can't wait to see what happens at Suzuka with the Red Bull. Yuki has been quoted saying he had to change his mindset, change his approach, or he wouldn't be sticking around in Formula One. So that, I think that Bahrain incident that he's referring to when he launched on the inside of Daniel after the race, I think that was the turning point for Yuki. And if you look back, I think Yuki progressively got stronger after that incident. I think the stern talking to that he got was more than enough to ruffle his feathers, but I think we saw Yuki improve at that point, and his trajectory has gone up since then. Everybody knows Racing Bull strategy is absolute trash. It's worse than Ferrari, and Ferrari Scuderia. I've been with you guys for a long time. It's not the car. It's not the car. Start with strategy. So yeah, for Yuki, let's just say he has the team behind him now. Now he just needs to apply what he knows and see where he goes. Helmut Marko has been talking about Verstappen. Yes, he wants a car. Obviously, every top driver wants a car, but every top driver has performance clause. So if you can't deliver Max a car, it's going to be hard to keep him, as per se, Helmut Marko. And the Red Bull camp is worried not only by losing Max, but McLaren, because they know McLaren is generally pretty good everywhere, it looks like so far. And they're not. So, yeah, they're going to be a little worried, and so they should be. McLaren seems to have a better idea of their aero package across all circuits at this point. Ride heights, which Ferrari is clearly struggling with. Another shot of this WhiteBull. I'm blown away at this WhiteBull for real. Like I actually, I'm really, really impressed with what they did. But anyway, I digress. It's just when I look at Red Bull and I look at McLaren and I look at Mercedes and I look at Ferrari and I look at where they are, Red Bull, they say Red Bull could be the 4th fastest team. Sure, they may be. But with Max, the Max factor, I don't know about that. You know, there's a lot on the table with Max. So we'll keep a close eye this weekend. News out of Italy. If that's true, he's anchoring himself down. Good for Lewis finding a home in Milan and whatnot. So I'm sure we'll get pics of that shortly. But when you look at this race weekend, and I found this stat quite interesting because it didn't actually dawn on me until I saw this stat, that there hasn't been another team to win the Japanese Grand Prix since forever. Ferrari hasn't won it since 2004. It's been Mercedes and Red Bull. So this is very, very interesting. What is this going to bring to this weekend? I'm not going to say Mercedes is going to be in the talk. I think George is going to do what George does. George is going to be fast on Saturday, but I think they're going to fall away on Sunday. Max is going to be there or thereabouts. It's Max Verstappen. Max doesn't need a lot. And if you have a mistake, Max is there. So I'm really interested just to see how that plays out. The Ferraris, I don't expect the Ferraris to be anywhere. I expect the McLarens to actually do more here. Ferrari says they're bringing some stuff to the table, maybe a new floor coming out of Maranello. So I think it was Auto Racer that had some news on that. I think it was DeCassa and the boys. So yeah, I'm really curious just to see what happens and how this plays out. I'm excited. And race week, Japan, let me see your predictions. All right. I really don't know how this is going to play out. So can't wait to have this unfold. See you again. See you soon. I'll be back.